The much anticipated and awaited Black Widow is finally out. I watched it. So the question is this, was it worth the wait? What's up? It's Tech, it's GVN. Let's visit the Red Room. So like I said earlier, was it worth the wait? Now, the premise is simple. Black Widow, from the very beginning, was always on a redemption path. That much has been established from the first Avengers movie. So this movie sort of continued in that pattern, right? I mean, as we all know, she's dead in the normal MCU canon, right? This movie takes place in the timeline between the Civil War and Infinity War. So we already have that much established. The beginning was already enough to captivate me. We saw a younger Natasha and Yelena with their parents, played by David Harbour and Rachel Weisz, right? And they clearly had this thing where they wanted to establish who she was, where she came from, why she is who she is, and all of that. And I think they did a good job with it, especially, you know, with the parts. There's a part in the intro where after we see the childhood, then we see a montage of the young girls being made spies and secret agents and basically killers sent to different parts of the world to do these things. And you know, they don't have any control over it. Pretty much all of them are brainwashed. So the boss says jump, they say how high. And speaking of the boss, Dreykov is like the main antagonist in this. Of course, we see Taskmaster, right? I've always been fascinated by his powers and abilities because Taskmaster is someone that he can mimic your exact fighting style, which is insane. I mean, there is an upper limit, for example. So in order to understand Taskmaster, here's the thing. So Taskmaster says Spider-Man, right? He can mimic exactly how Spider-Man fights, but things that he cannot mimic are superpower specific to that person. So like Spider-Man, Spider-Sense, he cannot mimic that, but he can mimic the way Spider-Man fights. So something like that. The other time when he was fighting against Deadpool, yes, even though he could mimic Deadpool's moves to an extent, but Deadpool is reckless, so he couldn't mimic all of that. One thing he could not mimic clearly was Deadpool's super healing. And you know, that's one thing that Deadpool plays a lot on. Deadpool would jump and catch a bullet from you in his own fighting style because he knows he's going to heal, just for him to score a hit on you and eventually defeat you. That's something Taskmaster can do because he does not have super healing. Now, why did I explain all of this? It plays a role later on. When I saw this movie coming out, in my opinion, it's a bit too late. It should have come out before Infinity War. I think it would have had a lot more impact compared to the impact it has now. And why did I say that? Like I said earlier, we all know Black Widow is dead. So whatever this is it's a farewell movie at best. It feels like in my mind, it was like, well, it's just a way for Marvel to make a quick buck. Yes, we've been wanting a Black Widow movie for quite some time now, since the very first Avengers movie. But then, yes, we finally got it, but we got it after Endgame. So it's like, yo, it's been a long time coming. This is a filler movie. I don't know if I'm going to be that invested in it, but I will say I was pleasantly surprised with the way the entire movie played out. The major winning points for this movie, I'll tell you, is this. This is like a last hurrah for Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow. Now, I will speculate that Florence Pugh, her sister Yelena, who acted beautifully, by the way. I love the chemistry between the two of them as sisters in this movie and as actresses. They did really well. So I'll say this is like a sort of introduction for her into the MCU and most likely the next Black Widow of sorts, right? And this is like a last hurrah for Scarlett Johansson, and it plays that role well. I really enjoyed that part of it. I enjoyed seeing her on screen again. This felt like a redemption movie for her. That's why you will see that in Endgame, when she sacrificed herself instead of letting Clint go, like, yo, I want to do this. This movie emphasized that, it played on that so she did this, she did that, and now she did that in Endgame as like the ultimate final sacrifice, which is like giving her life. I mean, what other sacrifice is more than that? So it was strong in that department. Now, I'll say there are some cons for me though. Red Guardian, played by David Harbour, was a joke. And why did I say that? First and foremost, we're introduced to him. Is a super soldier, right? Is Captain America level strong. Someone is Captain America level strong and you just relegate him to a sort of comic relief in the movie. I don't know, it felt sort of off for me. There is now, this might be a little bit of a spoiler, but it's not a deal breaker for the movie itself. But there is this part where, I mean, I've never been tattooed. I don't know if I'll get tattooed one day or not. But one thing I know about getting tattoos is you have to stay incredibly still. Like, even if that part of your body is itching you or something, you can tell the person, please stop, let me itch it. But you don't just move, right? And Dude is the very first introduction for David Harbour. That's when they are adults, is him having an arm wrestling contest with a couple of guys while he's getting tattooed. I'm sorry, even if you're a super soldier, no matter how still you are, the person will make a mistake tattooing your back while you're arm wrestling. It felt unnecessary, it felt unneeded. And I'll be honest with you, it felt like a wasted opportunity for me with his character. This guy is Captain America levels good, right? I said it before that for this movie to be like the ultimate goodbye, memorable level thing for me, it's going to be something as great as Captain America, Winter Soldier. It has to be that good. If it does not deliver that much, then yeah, it's just like, say, an okay movie, okay, we don't try, move on. And that was what it felt like to me, because that character was wasted. It was a joke. Like, I'm being honest, and I'm not trying to bash the movie because I think they did well. But that part for him, it was like it was a joke, and in my opinion, it was a wasted opportunity, and they should have done better with it. Now, the rest of the premise was good. The understanding of what the Red Room is and what they are doing with all the widows all over the world was good. But every other part with the comedy and all that, MCU keeps pushing this thing over and over and over, and I don't get it. There are areas where things are legitimately funny, right? But there are areas where it's just not sitting. It does not stick the landing. And I'll tell you, almost every part, including the Red Guardian, even some of the parts, the banter between Black Widow and Yelena, her sister, a lot of them with the jokes did not land. It was unnecessary. Yo, focus on the movie, focus on the story you're telling. You don't always have to make it one joke every 5 scenes. What's up with that? It also made some of the stunts unbelievable. You can't tell me someone who has a machine gun, an armor-piercing machine gun, is shooting at an helicopter, and someone is still making jokes, going inside, getting a rocket launcher, standing. The person is still shooting at you. I mean, come on. I'm not such an expert with shooting this sort of guns, but then if I shoot straight with a machine gun, it's meant to go straight, especially when you're shooting straight at a helicopter, not for someone to joke and then fire and all that.
Also, one other thing I'll say is I think they took unnecessary liberties with Black Widow's durability, because she's not a super soldier. If a car explodes under you, not once but twice, you should not be walking like it's nothing. I guess because they knew that, okay, she dies in the end game, so she can do some superhuman defying feats, like falling from, I don't know, like a 4 to 5 storied building and then still walking it off like it's nothing, like it's just another day in the park. No, she's a regular human being that just happens to have some incredible skills, and that's it. She's not superhuman in any way.
I'll say avert your gaze for a short while, but it has to be mentioned in this episode. It's one thing the MCU is doing. I've mentioned it before and I'm saying it again. When they take the source material and they mess with it in a way that doesn't look nice. Dreykov is the bad guy, right? Is the final bad guy. Taskmaster works for Dreykov. And you guys somehow just made it that Dreykov's daughter is the Taskmaster. You know, I knew something was up when the Taskmaster was sort of scanning Natasha's fighting move. The Taskmaster does not need a gadget to scan you. It's all in his brain. So that felt a little bit off to me. And then it turns out that it was the daughter and he did some crap with her, messed with her mind, is controlling her. No, like, you guys shouldn't have done that. It was unnecessary. You guys just ruined Taskmaster for the MCU, in my opinion.
I think Kevin Feige deserves a knock for this Taskmaster decision because it was dumb. It's a wasted opportunity, in my opinion. This could have tied into Deadpool in the future. The possibilities were just almost endless, and now it's been killed. Firstly, you guys killed Crossbones. Now, Taskmaster with this dumb decision that was made.
But overall, this movie was a nice farewell movie for Scarlett Johansson's Natasha Black Widow. Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow. It was a nice farewell movie, and there was also the nice thing. We got an explanation for a look in Infinity War with the jackets and all that. So that was a very nice touch. With one thing I love about the MCU is that connectivity of all their movies. It's beautiful, it's amazing. The synergy is just fun. Overall, I'm going to give Black Widow a 7.5 over 10. It wasn't a bad movie, no. It was a nice Scarlett Johansson goodbye movie for Natasha, for Black Widow. But overall, as a strong action movie from the MCU, no, it's for me. But then it wasn't terrible. It's one that I'll recommend. You guys let us know what you think in the comment section down below. Check out this video next to know why I gave America the Motion Picture an 8 over 10. This has been your boy Tech for GVN. Peace.